Have you ever seen what I call the crazy cycle in business? When employees feel uncared for, or we might even say unloved, they tend to react in ways that feel disrespectful to managers. And when managers feel disrespected, they tend to react in ways that feel uncaring or unloving to employees. This becomes a cycle. Things can get crazy. They can get maddening, insane. What happens when the manager is feeling, hey, you know what? This employee doesn't respect me. An unwise manager might default to an uncaring attitude toward the employee, which puts them on this crazy cycle. And what happens when an employee is feeling, my manager doesn't care about me? Not really. The unwise employee might default to a disrespectful attitude toward the manager, which puts them on the crazy cycle. Though everyone needs to feel others care about them and respects them, generally, when conflicts escalate between employees and managers, the management is feeling that the employee doesn't really respect them, and employees are feeling that management doesn't really care. Each is feeling defensive, but reacts in ways that feel offensive. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Let me illustrate how the crazy cycle begins on this topic of money or wages. Jan, the employee, wants more money when working overtime. Peyton, the manager, wants to hold the wages where they are. But in the discussion, Peyton, the manager, says, Jan, you should be grateful for all that you have. Frankly, there are a lot of other people who would love to have your job. You don't have to stay here, okay? Well, since Jan has been his employee for the last 5 years, that comment hurts. Those comments cause Jan to feel as though Peyton really doesn't care about her. And it sounds like Peyton would be just as happy if Jan sought work elsewhere. Jan then says, I've worked long and hard for you. This upsets me. This feels unfair to me. This feels uncaring to me. This then ignites the crazy cycle, doesn't it? From then on, whatever the topic may be between them, on many management team meetings, whatever, there's this undercurrent between them. Jan doesn't believe Peyton really cares, and Peyton is feeling that Jan does not respect. A manager can be a loving and honorable person. This is very important for me to say. A manager can be a loving and honorable person, but appear, very important word, appear uncaring to employees. A male manager had 100 women under him, and he came to me because many of the women were quitting. They were coming into his office saying, I'm resigning because you don't care. He told me his disbelief about this, since he felt that he did care and that he paid them well. He gave them bonuses and had great benefits for them. He felt hugely disrespected. But in our conversation, it came out that he couldn't care less about their personal problems on the home front. He felt that had absolutely nothing to do with their job, and he made it known that their personal concerns needed to be left at the front door, period. This was not a place for hand-holding, in his opinion. And during our discussions, it came up that in another division of the same company, he had a peer, another male manager, who also had about 100 women working under him. But none of the women were quitting. So I asked a very important question. Does this guy express concern about the families of these women? For instance, does he ask Kelly how her 16-year-old boy is doing in algebra? This guy said, yeah, he does that kind of thing all the time. Plus, he's writing thank you notes and making announcements about special things happening among the women, like to remember Mary's grandmother, who is in the hospital this week for a slight stroke. But I find that wrong, since it's on the company dime and time. I replied, well, when women feel you care, they are so loyal to you that you won't have to experience turnover. So the time and dime you think you're wasting doing this kind of thing pales compared to all the money and time you would have to spend rehiring and training. Forbes magazine recently reported on a company that only had a 3.3% employee turnover rate in an industry that averaged 22%. Why? It was stated they care for their people, which includes understanding the people's need to feel that you care. There is an emotional climate and culture of care that needs to be respected. Bottom line, employees need to feel that management cares. So moving forward, what can you as a manager do? I need to say, as a manager, I believe you're a caring and honorable person. I don't question that at all, but the question really is, do you appear uncaring? You need to ask yourself, do I misrepresent my deepest heart and thus my employee misinterprets me?